We knew that in the aftermath of the election, there were going to be people that fell out with their family. It was inevitable. A lot of people wanted to vote for Trump and conservative values. There were a lot of people that wanted to vote for Kamala and liberal values. Those splits came between husbands and wives, and today, the split came between a father and his sons.
You can't say that. Sir, you can't
Is he allowed to say
I'll
that?
say it louder. So we have a post from Reddit that reads, "My brother is angry with his Trump-loving sons." It's an Am I the Asshole? And the person explains, "Is my brother an Am I the Asshole candidate for wanting to cut off his sons financially for voting for Trump?" Like many Americans, my brother and I, both in our 50s, have been talking back and forth following the election. In the spirit of full disclosure, we are both Democrats. Long story short, he is angry with his two sons, both in their 20s, for voting for Trump. He's thinking about cutting them off financially in all respects, so they understand how Trump's policies will impact them firsthand. So right off the bat, we get the information that the poster and her brother, they're both Democrats. But her nephews ended up voting for Trump, and the father is thinking about cutting them off so they can see the impacts of their decisions. They can see exactly how Trump's policies and the person that they voted for is going to impact their lives. She goes on to say, "The irony here is that it is the reverse argument. You often hear younger voters disagreeing with their MAGA parents, but this is the opposite. My brother doesn't understand how his two sons, who have lived a life of privilege, feel like they have been violated against by society, enough so that they feel Trump hears them in their struggles." What's funny about this is you would think that a lot of older people that are quote unquote used to conservative and traditional values would be a larger voting base for Trump. And I'm going to look at the statistics. We're going to see exactly the age ranges that ended up voting for Trump, because I'm sure there are plenty of older people that ended up being in his voter base. But I said this time and time again throughout the period before the election. Everybody that's in my age range, in my age group, I'm 31, was either going to vote or considered voting for Trump, especially when Joe Biden was the candidate. We know that Kamala was introduced later into the election cycle, so I'm not entirely sure if the people that I know were still going to vote for her, going to vote for Trump after Kamala was introduced, because, it was later in the election cycle. It hadn't been that much time to have those conversations. But absolutely, Trump was on the front of everybody's mind at the time when Biden was running for the election prior to June. People have felt that Trump is the person that was making their lives better in 2017 until 2021. Of course, the pandemic happened and a lot of people lost their savings and things like that. But at my age category, in my age range, a lot of people didn't have life savings to lose. It's unfortunate for the people that did, but that wasn't really where we were in our lives. Obama has said time and time again that Trump succeeded off the back of his economy. And I've said time and time again that whether that's true or not, Trump was in the chair and people were winning at that time. So they look at the guy in the chair and they say, the reason that I'm winning is because of him, or it's influenced by him. So while this poster is talking about the fact that her nephews voted for Trump and they're in disbelief, they may have been in that age range. They may be in my age range, or voting age range at least. And it looked like the economy was in a different place, and it looked like it was doing better at the time that he was in the chair. So if he ruined the economy and Biden inherited a bad economy, it looks like it's Biden's fault. Because we know a lot of people are not well informed on politics. They're single issue voters. They're people that say, this one thing is affecting my life, and I'm going to vote based on this thing. Whether it be abortion, whether it be jobs, whether it be whatever it is. Most people are looking at one thing, whether it be immigration. Most people are looking at one thing and saying, this is why I'm going to pick this candidate, because this thing impacts my life in a negative way, and they're running on a platform to resolve it. I'm not sure what that issue was for this lady's nephews, the poster's nephews, but they feel like they had something that resonated with them in the Trump campaign that they weren't getting from the other campaign, which is a detriment to the campaign that the Democrats ran, which is why Bernie Sanders said that most working class people feel like the Democratic Party has abandoned them. But that's a topic for another day. So let's get back into this post. My brother to me about his sons. What these young men need is a little dose of reality. Get out in the world and start paying their own way. There's a common thread with his followers. Complain and blame everyone for their problems, whether they are in school or living at home off of their parents or working a trade job. King Trump will save them and make everything better. Take some personal responsibility and make it happen for yourself instead of crying about everything you hear on TikTok. I've decided to pass on the college expenses to my two Trump supporting sons so that they can feel truly firsthand the cost and expense of his absolutely stupid policy decisions, which include food, gas, and college expenses. Wondering if I pass on these expenses in 1 year or phase them out in year 2. I am wondering if a lot of parents feel like my brother. Are there Democrat parents of voting age MAGA men who feel failed with their sons because they voted for Trump? So the father says he's going to pass on the expenses down to his kids, the college tuition, their gas, their money for food, everything, so that they can feel the brunt of their decisions of voting for Trump. I've been seeing a lot of people on Twitter, on the internet, on TikTok, Instagram, discussing one of the key talking points of the Trump campaign, and that was tariffs. People seem to be learning after the fact that, and I'm learning after the fact, that the tariffs are passed on to the goods as they're imported into the country. And it's going to raise the price for not for the producer, right? Not for China or wherever we're importing the good from, but for the company that's selling it. So if somebody's selling something for normally $40, they get a 20% tariff on it. They got to raise the price another 20% just to compensate for the fact that they had a 20% tariff on it. A lot of people are learning that after the fact. And this father is saying that he wants his sons to also see the consequences of their decisions in that same way. Let them feel that everything that they are paying for or will be paying for is going to go up as a result of Trump. I'm going to say he's not the asshole. You have to, for one, these are grown men, right? They're in college in their first or second year. There's nothing wrong with them supporting themselves through college. Is it a nice thing to have your parents assist you? Absolutely. But one of the things about being an adult is making a decision and suffering the consequences of that decision, whether they're good or bad. And that's exactly what these two young men are going to experience. They decided that this person was what's best for their economy and their pockets, and they're about to find out if that's true or not. So let me know what you think. Is the father an asshole for passing on all of the son's college expenses to them? I don't think so, but you might. And if you like the video, subscribe to me, be back here for the next conversation. And if you have thoughts, let the world know. This is the place for discourse. Till next time. Peace.